SHMACKEMAGOB, everybody. Here I am to do a tribute to Reale, the main songwriter in the band Riot. Riot is extremely underrated and a very special band to me because I think it had to be maybe my third or fourth concert I went to go see. I should tell the whole story. It's funny. Well, funny now. Black Sabbath. Well, my first opportunity to see my all-time favorite band, Black Sabbath, was on the Never Say Die tour with Van Halen. My parents wouldn't let me go. It was in the Sportatorium, kind of far. Then the next time they came was on the Heaven and Hell tour, which was at the Miami Highlight, and it was a short bus ride, maybe 15, 20 minutes on the bus. But again, my parents said I couldn't go. So I snuck out of the house, got on a bus, went to the show, saw the show, got back home. My father was waiting for me with a belt, and he beat the fuck out of me with that belt. And let me tell you something. It was worth every lash. Going back to Riot. That Black Sabbath show, the opening bands was the Johnny Van Zant Band, the guy who's now singing for Leonard Skinner, Ronnie Van Zant's little brother, and Riot. Never heard of Riot. They came out and blew my mind, and it was on this tour right here, the Narita tour. And I was like blown away by Riot. I was like, damn. And I was telling all my friends about Riot, and I couldn't find this album anywhere. And I want to thank somebody. Oh God, I hate that I forgot who it was. Please leave a comment if you're watching this. Sent me this. I've never owned this. I've never owned this till this guy sent it to me, but I have heard it through the years. A friend of mine had it. But it was very hard to find Riot, any album from Riot at that time, 1980, 81. And then I saw them again when they opened for Rush on the Moving Pictures tour. I talked about that before. I believe I said that on the Neil Peart tribute, where a full-blown riot happened and tear gas, and I almost got trampled to death, and my friend Claude pulled me out and saved my life. And oddly enough, the opening band was Riot. And it was this album, Fire Down Under. Now, yes, I do agree with just about everybody. They had a really bad mascot. This little seal, his name was Johnny. I think that's a big, big factor in why they never really became big. Because too many pickle whistlers out there judge stuff by the cover and not the actual music. But anyway, let's get back to Riot. I did buy this. And I owned this before I saw the Rush show. I was aware of how killer this album is. To this day, this is my favorite Riot album. This album, if you've never heard this album, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. But chances are, you probably aren't watching this. I only have some really cool Riot fans watching this. If you have no idea who Riot is, please leave your comment below so I know you are a cool motherfucker to, hey, Reale, tribute, who's this? And click to watch. And hopefully I will do you a great service when you listen to this and love it as much as I do. I highly recommend this album. Anyway, I was so lucky. It was the only time I ever saw Riot with Reale. Reale is the main songwriter of Riot, and this is, I believe, their first album. And boy, this album smokes too, man. Rock City. These are the 3 albums featuring Guy Speranza on vocals, who unfortunately passed away as well. And then we got a little water damage here on the album, but the album's still fine. With the great Rhett Forrester, who also passed away. He replaced Guy Speranza. This album smokes too, man. Hard Lovin' Man, CIA, title track, great cover of When I Was Young. Lone Shark rips, man. Violent Crime, this is a great, great album. Restless Breed, awesome stuff. And then Born America, another great, great album with Rhett Forrester. Then they broke up. I think they may have done another album with Rhett Forrester, I could be wrong. But they did break up, and then they reunited for this album right here, which he totally changed the sound of the band to a more speed metal band. This is Thundersteel, a lot of people's favorites, and I don't blame them because this album is amazing. Really good. If you like speed metal, check out this album. Thundersteel rules. Then they followed it up with this one. Not as good, but still a very good album. The Privilege of Power. They did release several more. I do have some of them, but I don't own all of them. But he did, for a while, break up and form a band called Westworld. I believe they released like 3 CDs. I only have this one, which features Tony Harnell from TNT and also was in Skid Row for a little bit. I'm just showing off my Riot collection, which is not all of them, but this is a really good CD of Fire Down Under, which brings how many bonus tracks? It brings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonus tracks, and they're all good. If you can hunt this down, I recommend it. This is a later one called Through the Storm. More progressive, I would say. Really good stuff. I also have Privilege of Power. This is the latest one I have, but it's not the last one. Sons of Society. Awesome stuff as well. And this one, a live one, Shine On. This is all I have, but I do own all of them on MP3. But I am not a pickle whistling only MP3 won't buy stuff. That's why I have this link below. If you'd like to donate, since I am doing these videos for free, not monetizing this channel so you don't get annoyed by stupid commercials, it'll help me buy the rest of the Riot catalog. Though I do own them all, and I want them all. Now, as I'm filming this, it is the 8th anniversary of Mark Reale's passing. Now, Mark Reale was playing the 70 Tons of Metal cruise. Oh, something I forgot to mention too, and I still have the ticket stub. And one day I'm going to show off my ticket stubs. On the Thundersteel tour, they booked to play a place called City Limits. And I was excited to see Thundersteel, you know, that era. So I get to the show only to find out the door it was canceled. But I never refunded the ticket. I kept it. I still have the ticket intact. Whenever I put up my ticket stub episode, you'll see it. But anyway, they were booked to play 70 Tons of Metal, 2012, I believe, yes. And Mark Reale had leukemia, I believe it was. God, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was leukemia. And he was in the hospital, so he couldn't play the show, but they ended up playing it anyway. And this is no lie. I mean, such a weird coincidence. But when I went to go see Riot on the cruise, while I'm in the crowd, the news got out. Hey, Mark Reale passed away. We just found out Mark Reale passed away. This is moments before Riot goes on stage. And dude, I saw some people crying. I mean, I didn't cry, I should have. But there were a lot of people crying. And the band came out. They did the little announcement about Mark. And they dedicated the show to them. And I was close enough to see. Those guys were holding back tears. But they played an amazing set. Totally justice for Mark. And they are still around with no original members. They're called, God, what are they called now? And it's really good stuff. Riot 5, I believe, or Riot 6. And they have some great albums that I would love to buy. So, you know, if you don't mind donating, help for the cause. So on the 8th anniversary of his passing, I wanted to make a video because I don't think Mark Reale gets the justice he deserves. It's kind of like Sean Delaney. And I feel it's my duty to make a video to hail the great Mark Reale. And everybody out there listening to me now that are Riot fans and fans of Mark Reale, all eras, because I like all eras. They are different, you know. The later stuff's very different than the early stuff. Hard rock to speed metal to, I don't know, like very proggy type metal. Good stuff. Just all great stuff. And I just wanted to make this video to praise him. You know, rest in peace, Mark Reale. Rest in peace, Guy Speranza. and rest in peace, Rhett Forrester. I don't know if any other members of Riot have passed away, but those three were very integral, you know. And there's a really cool documentary on Riot on YouTube that you should check out and see how they really did, you know, play. You know, they were a band about the music. You know, they didn't, you know, they weren't sellouts. They just played from the heart, and they were great, even though some of the stuff is very different. I don't think Riot's ever made a bad album. Some much better than others, but I don't think they've made a bad album. There's also a really cool Pro Shot Fire Down Under concert on YouTube. And, oh man, where's my Riot edit? Alright, I almost forgot to show this. This is Thunder Steel Special Anniversary Edition. It is the 30th or 20th. Brings a bunch of bonus tracks and a DVD. For you, all you out there that are aware of Thunder Steel and you don't own this, geez, you need to get it. With the video of Blood Streets, great video, great song. And some live footage, interviews from Japan, good stuff, man. So, you know, the man's underrated, and I think he needs more videos like this on YouTube of fans like myself expressing my love and appreciation of Riot. They are a very special band to me. They never really got big, but they are still a very big part of the soundtrack of my youth, just like a lot of bands that didn't become big. And it's a shame. Riot rules. And before I leave, well, I'm leaving now, but after I leave, I would like to share with you my favorite Riot song. There's so many, it's hard to pick a favorite, but my favorite is from my favorite album. So it's my favorite song off my favorite album. This is Outlaw from Riot. Rest in peace, Mark Reale, Guy Speranza, and Rhett Forrester. SHMACKEMAGOB, turn it up.